My wife had an affair with her therapist while I was footing the bill for her sessions, and while she blamed me for being the source of her stress. She forgot we had a prenup. I went nuclear. All right, Reddit. Get comfortable, because this story is chaotic. My wife spent 4 months sleeping with her therapist on a couch that cost me $200 an hour, then acted stunned when I burned everything to the ground. The prenup she sobbed over before signing turned out to be the smartest financial decision I ever made. This is long, but read every word. The ending pays off. I'm Kai, 34, male, married to Rebecca for 5 years, together for 7. I own a logistics consulting company I built from nothing. 7 figures. Rebecca knew exactly what she was marrying into, which is why I demanded a prenup. She fought it relentlessly, cried, accused me of not trusting her, delivered the whole emotional performance. Her mother called me cold and unromantic, but my father died when I was 25 and left my mom with nothing because he trusted the wrong woman. I learned that lesson early. The prenup stayed. She signed it 2 weeks before the wedding. Rebecca worked as a brand consultant, usually juggling 2 or 3 clients, making around 30 grand a year. I was pulling 80-hour weeks, running a 12-person team. The house, the cars, the trips, all paid by me. She occasionally covered groceries. 3 years in, she grew restless. She said she felt empty. Her business mentor suggested therapy. She found Dr. Adrian Wu, a 38-year-old therapist specializing in personal growth. Fancy downtown office. $200 per session. I paid, thinking it was an investment in our marriage. The first month seemed great. She came home energized, talking about boundaries and empowerment. She started meditating, journaling, embracing the wellness lifestyle. I thought it was helping us. I was wrong. Month 2, the tone changed. Every session turned into a critique of our marriage. Dr. Wu said my work hours were unhealthy. Dr. Wu pointed out I made financial decisions without her input. Dr. Wu felt my communication style was dismissive. The breaking point was when I suggested we make a budget together. Dr. Wu told her that was something abusers do to control partners. A budget. Apparently, that made me abusive. I suggested couples therapy. She refused. Dr. Wu had warned her that it was a manipulation tactic to control the story. She became glued to her phone, smiling at messages, taking calls behind closed doors, dressing up on therapy days like she was heading out on a date. Her sessions stretched from 1 hour to 3. She'd come home flushed, upbeat, glowing. When I asked how therapy went, she snapped at me. 4 months in, I got home early from a meeting. She was FaceTiming someone, laughing, bedroom door shut. I opened it. She jumped and immediately ended the call. Dr. Wu. They were processing her morning session at 6 in the evening. Trauma, she said. Trauma from what? She grew up in the suburbs with 2 parents who paid for college. But sure, trauma. I let it slide. I didn't want to become the jealous, controlling husband Dr. Wu was training her to see. But I started noticing patterns. Every Monday and Thursday, therapy days, she spent an extra hour getting ready. Hair, makeup, outfit planning. She'd come home 3 or 4 hours later with vague explanations about growth and healing. Every disagreement turned explosive. Loading the dishwasher wrong became a sign of disrespect. Every argument ended the same way. Dr. Wu says it's a pattern. Dr. Wu thinks I should evaluate whether this marriage is healthy. Then came the Friday that blew everything up. Rebecca was showering. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. The preview read, I can't stop thinking about Tuesday. You're amazing. I picked it up. No password. She'd removed it weeks earlier because Dr. Wu said passwords indicated trust problems. I opened the messages. Scrolled up. Months of flirting. Explicit photos. Plans. Descriptions of what they'd done on his office couch. I screenshotted everything and emailed it to myself. There was a session booked for Monday. According to the text, she planned to tell him she was leaving me. He encouraged it. I sat there listening to the shower run, holding proof that my 5-year marriage had been destroyed by a therapist I was paying $200 an hour. The water shut off. Rebecca stepped out wrapped in a towel and froze when she saw me holding her phone. Her face drained of color, then flushed red. "What are you doing?" "Reading about how incredible you were on Tuesday." I said, "Adrian seems very impressed." "You went to my phone? That's a violation of my privacy." "Dr. Wu is right about you." She snapped. "Pack a bag." I said, "You're leaving tonight." "This is my house, too." "Check the deed." I replied. "My name?" "You have 30 minutes." "Kai, please. It's not what it looks like. You're sleeping with your therapist. There's no version of reality where that's okay." 29 minutes. I called my lawyer, Adrian. Told him Rebecca had been cheating with her therapist. Texts, photos, everything. I wanted her out immediately, and divorce papers filed Monday morning. Jason called about golf. I told him plans changed. My wife was sleeping with her therapist and moving out tonight. He said he was already on his way. He arrived 20 minutes later. Rebecca came downstairs with 2 suitcases. I told her my lawyer would be in touch. She asked where she was supposed to go. I suggested Dr. Wu. I was sure he'd have some therapeutic insight. She left, tires screeching. Jason sat with me and asked if I was okay. I told him the truth. 5 years with someone who treated me like a bank account, and I was finally free. He asked about the prenup. I told him it was airtight. She'd get nothing. That's when I started planning the next phase. This wasn't just about divorcing Rebecca. Dr. Wu had crossed the wrong man. That weekend, while Rebecca was likely crying to her therapist turned boyfriend, I was building a case that would crush both of them. Saturday morning, my lawyer Adrian came over with his paralegal, Jennifer, mid-40s, razor sharp. I showed them everything. Months of messages, photos, session notes where Dr. Wu mixed clinical observations about me with commentary about how Rebecca deserved better. Adrian explained I could report him to the state licensing board because I paid for the sessions. I also had standing to sue him civilly for fraud. With this evidence, the damages could be substantial. I told him to proceed. We spent 6 hours cataloging everything. Jennifer documented it all. Adrian drafted divorce papers citing adultery. Dr. Wu had emailed Rebecca session notes. The idiot documented his own malpractice. Sunday, Rebecca started texting. Apologies, excuses, demands. I didn't respond. Monday morning at 9, she was served. By 9:30, my phone was blowing up. 17 messages. My favorite. Dr. Wu says you're doing this to punish me, and it won't hold up in court. He was giving legal advice now. Cute. Adrian called. Rebecca had hired Parker. He was asking about the prenup. What did you tell him? That it's ironclad and his client walks away with $8,000 and a 2015 Honda Civic. Perfect. Jennifer filed the licensing complaint that morning. We were drafting the civil suit, but I told them to wait. Let him think that was the worst of it. Tuesday, an unknown number called. Kai, I think we should talk. We have nothing to discuss. I understand you're upset. You slept with my wife on furniture I paid for during sessions I funded. That's not therapy. If we could meet, you're losing your license. Then I'm suing you. That's our relationship. I hung up. He called 3 more times. I blocked the number. Wednesday, Rebecca and Dr. Wu had a massive fight. She was furious. He hadn't warned her about the consequences. Thursday, Parker called with proposal. Rebecca would accept the prenup. If I paid her $50,000 and dropped the complaint against Dr. Wu, my counteroffer was simple. She gets nothing. She admits to adultery in writing. Dr. Wu is on his own. Friday, I got an email from Rebecca's account, clearly written by Dr. Wu. Long therapy jargon about how I was abusing the legal system. Requested I withdraw all complaints. I forwarded it to Jennifer. Her reply made me smile. This is gold. He's admitting to the therapeutic relationship while inserting himself into divorce proceedings. That night, Jason and I went out for steaks. He asked how I was staying so calm. Because I'm winning. I said. She thought she'd leave, take half my stuff, and ride off with her therapist. Instead, she gets nothing. He loses his career. I walk free. Saturday morning at 8, Rebecca's mother, Jasmine, showed up at my door. Kai, we need to discuss this situation. No, we don't. Rebecca made a mistake. You're being cruel. She made a choice. I'm responding appropriately. You can afford to be generous. Give her something so she can start over. Jasmine, I gave her 5 years of covering everything while she built nothing. She can start over with a job. Her expression hardened. That prenup isn't fair. She was young. She was 27, not 17. She knew exactly what she was signing. She left angry. I went for my run. The licensing board moved fast. 10 days after Jennifer filed a complaint, Dr. Adrian Wu was notified. His practice was suspended. Rebecca was with him when he got the notice. Another blow-up. That weekend, I forwarded the public licensing complaint to every professional contact Dr. Wu listed on his website. Just a note about professional courtesy. By Monday, his network was gone. 2 therapy practices removed him from referral lists. A professional organization requested his resignation. Beautiful. 6 weeks after I kicked Rebecca out, the divorce was well underway. She wasn't handling it well. She'd moved in with Dr. Wu. Turns out living with an unemployed boyfriend wasn't as thrilling as sneaking around with forbidden therapists. They fought constantly, mostly about money. Without income, he was sinking fast. Rebecca, who had never paid for anything, was now splitting rent with someone who had nothing. Parker kept trying to crack the prenup. Claimed coercion. Claimed she didn't have independent counsel. Adrian shut down every argument. The court date was set for late October. Rebecca launched a social media campaign. Posts about emotional abuse and financial control. She never named me, but anyone who knew us could read between the lines. The comments were mixed. Her college roommate asked why she wasn't mentioning Dr. Wu. Rebecca deleted the comment and blocked her. Screenshots, however, live forever. Several people sent them to me. Jason thought it was hilarious. Nope, I said. Everything she posts is evidence of narrative manipulation. The licensing board wrapped up quickly, 8 weeks after the complaint. Dr. Adrian Wu permanently lost his license. Multiple violations. Affair with a current patient. Abuse of therapeutic power. Boundary breaches. Rebecca was officially listed as a victim. Dr. Wu appealed. He lost. That's when I filed the civil suit. $500,000 in damages. Fraud. Malpractice. Intentional interference with marriage. Dr. Wu couldn't afford a strong attorney. At the first settlement meeting, his lawyer offered $10,000. Jennifer laughed. We won't settle for less than $300,000 and a public admission. Meanwhile, the divorce was nearing its final stages. Parker had abandoned the prenup challenge. Now, he was scrambling to get Rebecca anything at all. He requested temporary spousal support. Adrian argued she'd been independent at the time of marriage. The judge agreed. No support. Rebecca then claimed she contributed to my business. Emotional support. Networking. Jennifer dismantled that claim in cross-examination. She asked Rebecca to name a single client she brought in. Silence. Asked what work she'd done for the company. More silence. Rebecca broke down and walked out. The preliminary hearing was a formality. The judge reviewed the prenup and declared it valid. Rebecca would keep her personal belongings, her car, and her bank account. Everything else stayed with me. She tried to address the judge about how unfair it all was. The judge cut her off. You signed an agreement with independent counsel, committed adultery, and have no legal grounds to contest this. Parker looked defeated. Rebecca looked furious. Outside the courthouse, Rebecca tried to approach me. Adrian and Jennifer stepped between us. Kai, please. Just 5 minutes. Your lawyer can speak to my lawyer. I made a mistake. Adrian manipulated me. You're 32 years old. You made a choice. Live with it. I walked away. That night, Rebecca sent a 5-page email explaining how Dr. Wu had manipulated her and how she could still be the wife I needed if I gave her another chance. I forwarded it to Jennifer without reading past the first paragraph. She's panicking, Jennifer replied. Do not engage. I didn't. Dr. Wu's lawyer called with a new offer. $150,000. No admission. Paid over 3 years. I countered with 400,000, full admission, paid within 1 year, and a letter sent to every professional contact acknowledging his actions. We settled at 325,000, full admission, paid over 18 months. And the letter, Dr. Wu signed. The divorce was finalized in December, 8 months after I kicked Rebecca out. She walked away with her car, $8,000 from her account, and her personal items. I kept everything else. That night, Jason and I went out to dinner. How are you holding up? I'm perfect. Dating again? Eventually. For now, I'm enjoying the peace. A text came from an unknown number. You ruined my life. I hope you're happy. I showed Jason. I typed back, you did? Then blocked it. 3 months after the divorce, Rebecca and Dr. Wu broke up. No surprise. Poverty kills romance fast. She moved back in with her parents at 32. He relocated to another state to start over. Rebecca tried to restart her consulting business. Word had spread. Her remaining clients dropped her. Her social media turned bitter. Rants about men, divorce laws, prenups. One post claimed prenups should be illegal because they let men trap women and discard them. The comments tore her apart. She deleted it within hours. Screenshots lived on. I didn't engage. She was doing enough damage without my help. My business was thriving. Without chaos, I focused better. We landed 2 major contracts in January. Jason and I discussed expansion. Life was moving forward. Rebecca was just background noise. Then February hit. I got a letter from Parker in early February. He was representing Rebecca in a motion to modify the divorce decree. She was claiming the prenup had been signed under duress. Adrian read it, smirked, and shook his head. She's desperate. This has zero legal merit. She's broke and hoping you'll throw money at the problem. Not happening. We filed a response denying everything and requesting sanctions. The hearing was scheduled for March. In the meantime, I received a LinkedIn connection request from Dr. Adrian Wu. I declined it. A few days later, an email followed. Long apology, therapy language, admissions of guilt, claims he was now in treatment himself, and finally understood how wrong he'd been. I forwarded it to Adrian and Jennifer. Don't reply, Jennifer said. I didn't. The hearing on Rebecca's motion was a waste of court time. She showed up with Parker and argued that I'd threatened to cancel the wedding if she didn't sign the prenup. Jennifer produced emails from that period, messages where Rebecca told friends she understood the agreement and joked that it wouldn't matter because we'd be together forever. The judge took less than 10 minutes. Motion denied. Sanctions issued. Rebecca was ordered to pay $5,000 in court costs. Parker looked embarrassed. Rebecca looked wrecked. I felt relief. Outside the courthouse, Rebecca tried to approach me again. Jennifer stepped in front of her. Mrs. Parker, you need to stop contacting my client. I just want 1 minute, Rebecca said, eyes red. You have nothing he needs to hear. Rebecca looked thinner, older. The affair and the fallout had aged her fast. Kai, please, she whispered. I'm drowning. I can't find work. I'm living with my parents. I have nothing. Can you help me get back on my feet? I felt nothing. You made your choices. Live with them. I walked to my car. She shouted something after me. I didn't listen. In April, Jennifer told me Dr. Wood filed for bankruptcy. His settlement payments stopped. She filed a motion to enforce the judgment. But you can't squeeze money from someone with none. I wrote off the balance. The cash no longer mattered. Ruining his career had been the real objective. Then Rebecca started appearing where I went. My gym, my regular cafe, a restaurant Jason and I frequented. After the third encounter, Adrian sent a cease and desist letter. Continued contact would mean a restraining order. Rebecca responded with a handwritten letter. 12 pages. Apologies, regret, promises, declarations of love. I handed it to Jennifer. She filed for the restraining order. The judge granted it. Rebecca was ordered to stay 500 feet away from me, my home, and my business. She violated it within a week. Showed up at my office building. Security called police. She spent the night in jail. The judge extended the order to 1 year and placed her on probation. One more violation meant real jail time. She finally stopped showing up in person. The messages didn't stop. New emails, new phone numbers, new social accounts. All blocked, all documented. May through August were quiet. No contact. I started dating again. Her name was Claire. Smart, independent, financially stable. Had her own life. Jason approved. She's normal, he said. Life was good. The company was growing. I was seeing someone who didn't treat me like a credit card. Rebecca finally disappeared. Then September arrived. Jennifer called me on a Tuesday afternoon. You're not going to believe this. Rebecca had written a book, self-published, about surviving emotional abuse and financial control in marriage. It was on Amazon. She was promoting it as her survivor story. She didn't use my name, but anyone who knew us would recognize every detail. I bought it and read it in one sitting. Pure fiction. In her version, I isolated her, controlled her money, destroyed her confidence, and forced her to abandon a thriving business. The therapist was portrayed as a caring professional who helped her see the truth. The affair wasn't mentioned. Neither was the fact that I paid for everything. The reviews were mixed. Some believed her. Others who knew the truth left 1-star reviews calling out the lies. I called Jennifer. Draft a cease and desist. If she doesn't pull it, we sue for defamation. The letter went out that afternoon. Rebecca's response came 2 days later through a new attorney. His argument was simple. She had a right to tell her story. I wasn't named. Any resemblance was coincidental. The book was protected speech. Jennifer's reply was better. The details were specific enough that anyone in our social or professional circle would identify me. The claims were false and damaging. We argued for a week. Rebecca doubled down. Podcasts, social posts, victim narrative on full blast. Jason listened to one interview. According to this, you're a controlling psychopath. Did she mention the affair? Yeah, but framed it as emotional survival. That settled it. We filed the defamation lawsuit in October. We asked for $750,000 in damages, a public retraction, and the removal of all promotional material related to the book. Rebecca's lawyer fought hard at first, but discovery destroyed her case. We pulled bank records showing she contributed almost nothing financially. We had her tax returns. We had the divorce judgment confirming adultery. We had the licensing board's findings detailing Dr. Wu's ethical violations. Worst of all for her, we had her own social media posts from during our marriage praising my generosity and the life we lived together. Her attorney tried claiming those posts were made under coercion. He couldn't prove it. By December, Rebecca's lawyer was pushing for settlement. They offered to pull the book if I dropped the lawsuit. My counter was simple. Remove the book. Issue a public admission of lies. Pay my legal fees. Donate $50,000 to a domestic violence charity she exploited with her false narrative. Jennifer shook her head. She'll never agree to that. Then we go to trial. Trial began in February. 3 days. Jennifer dismantled every claim from Rebecca's book using documents, financial data, and witness testimony. Jason testified about our marriage. My accountant testified about the financial structure. Rebecca's own mother admitted under oath that I never isolated her daughter and was always respectful and supportive. Her mother, the jury deliberated for 4 hours. They ruled in my favor on all counts. $500,000 in damages. Rebecca didn't have it. Her lawyer filed for bankruptcy protection. The judgment would follow her for years, garnishing whatever income she managed to earn. Outside the courthouse, Rebecca collapsed on the steps crying. I walked past without looking. That night, Jason and I celebrated at my favorite steakhouse. Claire joined us. Think she learned anything? Jason asked. She's desperate. I said, desperate people don't stop making bad choices. 2 weeks later, a handwritten letter arrived with no return address. 20 pages. Apologies. Regret. Confessions. The final page was pure desperation. She admitted she had no right to ask anything of me, but said she was drowning. She couldn't find work. Her wages were being garnished. She was living in her parents' basement with no future. She begged for help. I read it twice, then threw it away. A year after the defamation verdict, my life had completely changed. The business expanded to 3 cities. We hired 20 new employees. Revenue climbed 40%. I moved into a new house and furnished it exactly how I wanted. Claire and I were serious, talking about moving in together. She knew the entire story and didn't judge me. It was my past, not my future. Jason got engaged. I was named best man. Life had momentum. I hadn't heard from Rebecca in 8 months. Mutual friends said she'd moved out her parents' house and was sharing a place with roommates, working retail or restaurant shifts, barely scraping by. The judgment still hovered, garnishing 25% of whatever she earned. I didn't feel guilty. Choices have consequences. Then March brought another surprise. I was served bankruptcy paperwork. Rebecca was attempting to discharge the defamation judgment. Adrian reviewed it. She can try. Judgments based on willful and malicious conduct usually aren't dischargeable. We'll fight it. We filed an objection. The hearing was set for May. Rebecca showed up looking worn down, thinner, exhausted. Her bankruptcy attorney looked barely out of law school. Jennifer argued the case. Rebecca knowingly published false statements to harm my reputation and profit from them. That met the standard for willful and malicious conduct. The bankruptcy judge agreed. Discharge denied. Her lawyer then asked for a reduced payment plan. The judge reviewed her financial affidavit and shook his head. The garnishment remained. Rebecca left the courtroom in tears. I left thinking about dinner. That night, I received a LinkedIn message from Rebecca's account. She begged me to stop the garnishment, said it was ruining her life. I deleted it and reported the account for harassment. In June, I heard she'd been evicted. 2 jobs weren't enough when a quarter of her income was being taken. I didn't care. Claire moved in. We talked about getting engaged. Life was exactly what I wanted. Then August arrived. I was working late one evening. The office was empty. Everyone else had gone home. I heard the elevator chime. Building security usually locked access after 7. The office door opened. Rebecca walked in. She looked awful. How did you get up here? I waited for someone to leave and caught the door. Kai, please. I need to talk to you. You're violating the restraining order. It expired. Please. 5 minutes. I should have called security. I should have had her removed immediately. But something about how broken she looked made me pause. 5 minutes. She sat across from my desk. I've lost everything, she said. My career, my reputation, my future. I have nothing left. She told me she worked at a coffee shop, cleaned houses on weekends, and still couldn't make rent because of the garnishment. I'm 1 month from being homeless. How is that my problem? I know it's not. I know I did this to myself. The affair, the book, everything. But I can't survive like this for 10 years. You should have thought about that before publishing lies. She cried. I was angry and desperate and made everything worse. I always do. But I'm begging you, please stop the garnishment. Let me try to rebuild. I looked at her, saw desperation, total collapse. No, you had countless chances to stop. Every time you chose to lie. These are the consequences. She broke down completely. Leave, I said. Your time's up. I'll do anything. There's nothing I want from you except for you to leave and never contact me again. She stayed seated, sobbing. I called building security. They arrived in 2 minutes and escorted her out. I watched from my office window as they walked her to her beat-up car. Then I went back to work. 2 hours later, I had dinner with Claire. I told her what happened. How do you feel? She asked. Nothing. It's not my responsibility. Isn't it a bit cruel? She asked gently. I'm not excusing her, but she's destroyed. She cheated on my dime and tried to ruin my name, I said. She earned this. Claire paused, then nodded. Fair enough. 3 months later, I was planning a wedding. Claire and I got engaged in September and set the date for April. The business was thriving. My relationship was healthy. I closed the door on the past. You'd think Rebecca would have moved on. She hadn't. I received a letter from her lawyer, a new one, not the bankruptcy attorney or the defamation one. The letter claimed Rebecca was facing homelessness due to the garnishment and requested a meeting to discuss ending the judgment in exchange for a public apology and removal of remaining online references. I called Jennifer. She's trying again. She's desperate, Jennifer said. The garnishment is killing her. Set the meeting. A week later, we met at Jennifer's office. Rebecca looked slightly better. Clean clothes, washed hair, still thin. Her lawyer, Ellen Delgado, introduced herself. My client is willing to issue a full public apology, permanently remove the book, and sign a statement admitting her claims were false. In return, she asked that you forgive the remaining judgment and end the garnishment. I laughed. She's offering an apology for $500,000? Rebecca stared at the table. Why now? I asked. Because I can't live like this, she said. I'm making $2,400 a month. $600 goes to garnishment. I can't afford food or rent. That's not my problem. It isn't, Ellen said. But the judgment isn't benefiting you anymore. You've won. Everyone knows that. The garnishment won't ever recover the full amount. Jennifer leaned forward. At the current rate, it recovers about $7,200 a year. Ellen nodded. So the question is whether public accountability is worth more than endless punishment. I leaned back. What does the apology look like? Ellen slid over a draft. It was a full admission. Lying about abuse. The affair with her therapist. Trying to destroy me instead of taking responsibility. Where does this get published? Anywhere you want. I looked at Rebecca. Why should I believe you'll follow through? Because I have nothing left, she said. And because you were right. I destroyed everything. She cried again. The money didn't matter. I'd written off long ago. The lesson had been the point. All right, I said, but I have conditions. I told them. She had to publish the statement on every social platform. Email it to every mutual contact. Pin it for 1 full year. Never reference me or our marriage again. Ellen nodded. One more thing. I added, you admit the prenup was fair, that you signed it knowingly and that I funded your lifestyle, while you contributed almost nothing. Rebecca crumpled. Those are my terms. She agreed. Jennifer drafted the final agreement. Rebecca signed without reading it. Ellen made her read it anyway. That night, Rebecca posted the statement everywhere. The backlash was immediate and brutal. People she convinced she was a victim turned on her, called her a liar, a manipulator. Within 2 days, her social media was dead except for the pinned confession. I didn't read the comments. Claire asked if I felt vindicated. No, I said, I feel finished. 6 months later, I married Claire. That's the real ending.